So I had a young man asking me for some advice about his first sales job, wanted to get into sales, all excited about it. And he's like, what is the best type of company to work for, and what should I go for, and all this. So number one is your first sales job is probably not going to be your last sales job. So in the beginning, what I suggest more than anything is that you get a job where they're going to train you really good and teach you some good basics. So make sure that they're going to give you some proper training. My first sales job, they did not give us great training, but they taught us how to really go out there and hustle. And I was going out there and I was doing door-to-door business, cold calls, face-to-face, and it was a great way to just get that mental attitude, deal with a lot of different situations. But our training was not that good. The other thing that happened in my situation was they were paying us 100% on commission, and that 100% on commission was not a good commission. The most I could really make in a day was 150, maybe $200 a day. If you're getting paid 100% commission, make it worth it. In general, in sales, when you have a 100% sales commission job, that often means you get really, really big payouts, right? So example on this would be guys that sell airplanes a lot of the time, or guys that sell real estate. They're not making that day-to-day paycheck, but they're getting that huge paycheck every month or whatever it may be from a big sale or whatever it may be. Most of the time it's a pretty big paycheck that you get. It can depend, obviously, right? So it's important to realize that, and I'd say more than anything is you just want to make sure that you're getting in a really good sales atmosphere where they're really positive, they're really driven, they're really serious about getting you and making you really go out there and rock and giving you great training. There's certain companies that have very high turnover and burn rates, and there's other companies that don't. Some great companies that have pretty good sales cultures are people like Xerox is a good one. Some of the financial companies out there have some good ones, as well as the insurance training companies. But ask them what their turn and burn rate is and find out. FedEx usually has a pretty good training program as well. So these are some good companies to look at, and usually there's some decent openings there as well. So that's what I tell you more than anything, to look at a job that gives you that. And you know what, there's some other sales jobs that you can get sometimes as well, where they give you a base salary. And I think in the beginning that's useful too, because if you're just 100% commission, you're starting out from the get-go, and you're scraping by that way, it can be really tough on you mentally. And in the beginning, you usually haven't developed that kind of mental toughness to be able to deal with that. And so I think it's important in the beginning to have a little bit of cash flow going that way, and be in a situation where you can start seeing some success right from the get-go. Because if you don't see that, and it's that hard uphill battle, it's going to be tough to stick with it. That's just the name of the game and how it works. So those are some of my basic tips out there. So number one, find a company that's going to give you great training. Number two, I would suggest finding one, if you can, that's going to give you a little bit of a base salary as well, and just a really good positive atmosphere. Number three is see what kind of turnover rate that they have with their sales guys. A lot of places have very high turnover. If you can find a place that has a turnover rate of 25% or less, that's pretty good in the sales industry. So that'll tell you a lot. So those would be my main things I tell you. And remember, your first sales job is just that. It's your first sales job. It's most likely not going to be the one that you're going to have for the next 10, 20 years or whatever it may be. So make sure that you get the best training out of it that you can, and then always work on your own training outside of it too. So this is Kerry Sullivan with howtokickassinsales.com to today. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.